Hello and welcome to your new 403B benefits presentation. I am Jay Harrison Patterson. I am your moderator today. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I started my career as a lawyer, but was drawn to financial education as a passion. And I am very privileged to work every day with people across the country, helping them on their journey to financial fitness. I'm very, very happy to be here today as a part of your professional development day at GTCC. And I have an amazing team of financial professionals joining me. We do have a very exciting presentation today. I don't want you to think that we're just going to sit here and sit with all the technicalities of investment. What we have planned is we are going to show you how you can use your existing benefits as a GTCC employee to build your own plan to financial fitness. So these are tools that are already at your disposal, and we're just going to show you how you can use those. We have 3 parts to our presentation. The first part is going to be introducing you to a benefit you may not even be aware of that helps you create your own financial plan. And Ben Pitts with My Financial Answers is going to do that portion of our presentation today. Then we have certified financial planner Rebecca Jacopelli, who is going to talk to you about working with a financial coach through that program to build a financial plan that is individualized and designed to meet your particular needs. Then we have investment advisor Sean McGill, who's going to talk to you about investing. And no matter where you are, whether you're new to investing or you're an experienced pro, Sean's going to introduce another tool that you may not even realize that you have access to get you really going in your investment and to make sure that you're very comfortable in investing. So again, excited to have you here. What we're going to do is get you involved in this process by starting with a poll question. Where are you on the road to retirement? Do you think it's way off in the future? You're just getting started in your career, maybe 20 to 30 years away. Are you maybe midway, 10 to 15 years away from retirement? Or are you, just starting out? You're coming in for a landing. You're at the end of your career and retirement is within your sights. So I'm just going to give you just a few seconds to answer that poll. All right, it looks like we've got just about all of our responses in. So it looks like about half of you are about midway through your career, and retirement is about 10 to 15 years away. But we have a good mix. Some of you are beginning your career, some of you are coming in for a landing. Wherever you are today, we hope to give you some really good tips to prepare on your journey for financial fitness. And with that being said, I'm going to introduce Ben Pitts, who is going to walk you through an amazing tool that you have as a GTCC employee that will help you really get clear in your financial plan.
Hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Ben Pitts. I'm the CEO of My Financial Answers and one of the co-founders. I'm going to talk about My Financial Answers, and I'm going to talk about the financial education and planning that we provide to school districts and colleges and universities and other organizations. But I'd like to start by talking a little bit about how I got here, why I started this company that provides financial planning and education, and why we're talking about today. So I actually grew up in New Jersey, one of 5 children to a working class parents. My dad, when I was young, was a construction worker. My mom was a teacher. And I remember eventually when I got to probably around 10 or 11, my dad was fortunate enough to get a job in the state of New Jersey as a youth worker. And we found ourselves at that point, this is in the early 90s, we sort of became this typical middle class family. my mom eventually went back to work as a secretary at our church after being a homemaker for a while with these 5 children. But all 5 of us were able to go to college. We had a great family that, taught us the value of hard work. And I found myself personally, one of 5, in the financial services industry, in my late 20s, and was working for a firm called Goldman Sachs that maybe some of you have heard of. And my job was to help ultra high net worth individuals with $10 million or more, invest their money and provide financial planning to help them make smart decisions. And I remember having an epiphany one day, and that epiphany came because one day my dad actually asked me to go with him to a retirement seminar that he had to attend with 30 or 40 of his colleagues for the state of New Jersey. And in this retirement seminar, there were 30 or 40 other people in there. The topics were thinking about, pension plan options, and thinking about life insurance options post-retirement, thinking about health insurance options post-retirement. And I was the only person that was in attendance with another individual, with my dad. Certainly no one else in the room had a financial advisor or a financial planner with them. I think about this, and that forced me to think about my dad prior to that point, in his 20s, as he was just starting our family with marrying my mom, in his 30s when they started to have these 5 children and well on their way into that, in their 40s when they were starting to think about sending us to college and maybe helping pay for that, and in their 50s eventually starting to think seriously about retirement. And no one in that room, and broadly speaking, most middle-class families, or even upper-middle-class families, most families don't have access to quality financial advice to get help with these things. And so that is precisely why I started My Financial Answers. That's precisely why we're here today. I decided to provide a solution to people like my father. And so the question becomes, what is that solution? What is it that My Financial Answers provides that gives that help? And I've already alluded to it. The simple answer is access. The simple answer is access to a couple of different things. And I'm actually going to share some slides with you now to show you what that access is that My Financial Answers provides to people like you. So our entire focus as an organization is focused on your financial wellness, the individuals and the organizations that we provide this benefit to. And a big part of that is access to personal financial planning. But the access, the first piece of access that we give, there are 3 parts. Access to education. We do that through webinars like the one we're on now, where we talk about things like debt management and retirement planning and college savings and student loan forgiveness, cash flow planning and budgeting. So it's providing education in a group setting, and I believe you all are going to hear some more about your retirement plan after I'm finished today. But access to education is really critical, and that's a part of what we do. That's one piece. The second thing is access to tools, tools that allow you to not only learn, like our online learning center, and ongoing tips and content that we send out, but also tools to help you map out what your journey looks like. In this case, this is a personal financial plan that My Financial Answers allows you to sign up for. And again, I believe you're going to have the opportunity to do that while we're on this call today. But to build a personal financial plan, something that would cost you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to go do on your own, we bring it right to you through this program, through your workplace. And that actually allows you to then, as you build out that financial plan, to schedule a call, which brings me to my third point, access to education tools, and then finally scheduling a call, access to speak with a financial coach, an expert that is unbiased, that can help you think through all of your priorities to be the person that I was. To my dad while we sat in that library and thereafter. And so this financial coach, you're going to hear from Becky Iacopelli later on in this meeting. But there are 4 steps. You can have an initial meeting, go through the financial plan that you've built online. You can review that plan with a financial planner like Becky. And Becky is there to help you take action, to determine what are the gaps in my financial plan, what should I do next, whether that's a budgeting issue or paying off debt, or student loan forgiveness, or whether that's thinking seriously about retirement and pensions and Social Security. And our financial coaches are there to continue to check in with you along the way. And I'm going to share my screen. My plan, if you went through this for the first time, it's going to ask you to put in a coupon code. This is all free to you, by the way. You'll be able to put in a coupon code and get a financial plan for free. And it would take me to the screen where I start putting in information about myself. And this is personal information. It's unique to you. And so I can start putting in information about who I am, my age, where I live, what my salary is, my 403B contributions, if there's some match. We've got tooltips to help you do this effectively. If I have a pension, I can add that. And when I want to retire. And then we get to a point where we ask about, hey, tell us more about yourself, not just your but tell us, are you married? Do you have a spouse? Does your spouse work? Do you have kids that are under 21? Do you want to send them to college? Do you have investments? Do you have debts? This screen is what allows us to really make this financial plan personalized. This is not just a calculator. It is a financial plan specifically for your situation. And there's some other inputs here. This might take you 20 or 30 minutes to fill out, depending on how complicated your situation is. Everything from income and assets, your debts, your investments, expenses that you have. You'll build out a bit of a budget so that we can do some planning for you. Put in your debts and how much you pay for various expenses. And where you end up is once you finish these inputs, you'll click Save and Calculate, and this will just take a few minutes about 15 seconds to calculate. But where we'll end up is having a financial plan, depending on how complicated your situation. Go ahead and go back to our slides a little bit, but definitely wanted to show you what My Financial Answers is all about. And I'm going to jump back into our presentation just to finish up my comments here. So what are the benefits for you all on the phone to use My Financial Answers to sign up for an account? Number one is just to determine if you are on track to get to where you want to be. Most of us today really don't know. We probably have a good sense of whether we're saving or not saving or what stresses us out. But do we really know if we're on track? Most people do not know if they're on track, and My Financial Answers will actually show you if you're on track. Number two, it's going to allow you to, we're going to give you a specific set of actions to get on track and to stay on track. And ultimately, our goal is to help ensure you accomplish your goals, whether that's paying off debt, sending your kids to college, retiring on time. All of us are different. Some of us may say, hey, I wasn't able to pay for my kids to go to college. That's my number one priority. Others would say, hey, my parents didn't pay for me to go to college, and therefore I want to pay. I don't want to pay for my kids to go to college because I did it on my own. So we're all going to have very unique situations. That's part of the financial planning process. And our goal is to help you figure out what are those goals. How do we document that in this financial plan and show you, are you on the path to that? And if not, how do we get there? And lastly, give you someone to speak with when you have questions, to be able to speak with someone like Becky, who you'll hear from in a little bit, about what those goals are, what stresses you out about getting there, and having someone be able to sit there with you and help you along on that journey. So we provide all of that. A few other things to consider before I conclude is, again, we all start somewhere. We're here to help you wherever you are. This is free to use. You will get a coupon code to participate. You'll notice that My Financial Answers is a subscription-based tool, but as a benefit, you all will receive a coupon code and you get this free of charge. We are not trying to sell you any product that's going to cost you money. And then lastly, your information, all of the financial details you put in here are private and secure. We're not sharing these details with your employer. We're not sharing these details with any other third party. The only team that will know about that will see this is the financial coach and our team at My Financial Answers, as well as our partner Verity, who's offering this service to you. And lastly, the software is secure. It is encrypted bank level security, so you don't have to worry about your personal details being released into the public. And included in that, we're not collecting Social Security information or bank account numbers, anything that would be sensitive data that you would really truly have to worry about. So those are some things to consider. And I appreciate you joining us today. At the end of the day, we are here to help. We want you to join us in our mission to help millions of Americans reach financial security by starting with yourselves. So we invite you to join with us. We invite you to sign up. You may not be ready to build a financial plan today. If that's not the case, sign up, review our articles, and just have an account so that when you are ready, you can start building your financial plan. Others of you may be ready right now. We encourage you to do that. You can literally have a financial plan by the end of the day. So I just thank you all for joining us, and we look forward to working with you in the future. Take care.
Thank you so much, Ben, for that presentation. You can see right now in the offer box, in the chat box, you have the link to join My Financial Answers, and we invite you to do that right now while we are live on this call. Go ahead and click on the link, enter your email, and voila, you'll have a My Financial Answers account. It is a free benefit using the coupon code Verity Plan that's in the chat box, capital VERITY, capital PLAN, and that will give you your My Financial Answers account that Ben just talked about. With that being said, I want you to know that you don't wait till the end. Don't wait to feel like you have to email us. We can answer your questions live right now. The chat box is open. Any questions that you have about anything that you hear discussed today, or if there's a specific situation that you would like to address, go ahead and put that in the chat box. We have a certified financial planner. We have an investment advisor here to answer your questions about not just your 403B, but about preparing for retirement and creating your financial fitness plan. With that being said, I'm going to move on to the next portion of our presentation and invite Rebecca Jacopelli to join me. Rebecca is a certified financial planner and lead financial planner at My Financial Answers. Welcome, Becky. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Amazing. Audience, have you clicked on the link? Did you set up your MFA plan? I want to know, because again, you're not going to sit here and just watch us talk today. We're going to get you involved. We're going to ask another poll question. Here we go. Do you contribute to a retirement account, i.e. a 403B or an IRA? Can you not afford it? And that's fine. Becky's going to help you understand how to. You don't know much about it, or maybe you're relying on your pension and Social Security, or yeah, I am contributing. Go ahead and answer the questions in the poll in the chat box. Just want to get a feel of where everybody is on the call today. All right, it looks like we've got just about everybody responding. So yeah, well, great. Most of you are contributing to your 403B or an IRA, and that's wonderful. And a lot of you just don't know about it or feel you can't afford it. Well, you're in luck today. Becky is going to talk to you about using the My Financial Answers tool that we just learned about with a financial coach, someone who will walk you through the program, set it up so that you have a very unique, individualized plan just for you, customized to your specific situation, starting wherever you are. So Becky, I wanted to, one thing that I've noticed working with clients is that it's very easy to use My Financial Answers. Everybody just signed up, everybody put in their email, and then they just kind of forget about it, you know? What is the benefit with working with a financial coach?
Yeah, well, working with a financial coach will bring financial security to you. It'll help you get started with building your financial plan and having financial success. And that's what we really want to see. So we want to see you make small steps today and have big results tomorrow. And working with a financial planner is the only way to get you there.
What does a client need to be prepared with when they're setting up a meeting with with a financial coach?
Well, when it comes, hold on, let's go through the first meeting and the second meeting first. So just to give you a little overview. So when it comes to the first meeting that we have, we go through the data gathering process. So we're just going to get some more information from you that builds the foundation for your financial plan and goes over your current situation. Then we're going to review your goals, and that's really important. So we want to get a priority list of that, what is important to you. So you may have some short-term goals. Say you want to build up your emergency fund, your car broke down, you had to pay some money that you weren't expecting, and you need to rebuild that rainy day fund. Say you want to buy a house in a couple of years and you have to build up your home down payment fund. We'll help you to accomplish those goals, but we want to get an idea of where your head's at. And of course, we all have the long-term goal of retirement, but that might be a short-term goal for you too. So we had some people, like we saw in the poll, that are 1 to 5 years away. So we invite you to start this process as well, because that might be a short-term goal for you, and we want to get started right away. So that in our first meeting, we'll review your goals and we'll get an idea of where you're at. Then in our second meeting, we're going to review recommendations. So that will be about a week later. That'll give me some time to review your plan, to come up with the recommendations, and then we'll review them together. So I'll share some information with you about how much you should contribute, what vehicles you should use to do so. And then we'll also discuss some action items. So we'll discuss what needs to be done in order to get you to your goals. And there's going to be an interactive dashboard that's available to you that will help you see where you need to go and what we need to do to get there.
Okay. And so like I was asking, what would a client need to bring to this meeting with you?
Well, when it comes to the meeting, we're going to take a look at your whole financial situation. So we're going to take a look at first your assets. That would be if you have a 403B. A lot of you said that you contributed to a 403B. So we're going to take a look at the balance of that account. Any bank accounts or savings accounts you might have, we'll take a look at those. And then also your liabilities. So what we want to know when it comes to your liabilities is how much you owe, what the interest rate is, what the term is for that loan, and also how much your current payment is. And all of that can be found online simply, so we don't have to worry about that. We can access that online together. And then that will include things like your mortgage, your student loan, any credit card balances you might have. And then we're going to look at insurance. Now, this one is one that a lot of people don't often know about. So we might want to get in contact with your HR to see what benefits are offered to you already through GTCC, and we'll get that information for you. Now, also, we want to know your income and spending. So these are really important elements of a plan. We need to know your gross income that you get as a salary. And then, of course, your spending. So Ben showed us a little bit what that looks like on My Financial Answers. We'll break down what it is that you're actually spending your money on. Now, not all people have a budget, but that's something we can create together.
So for someone sitting there at home or in their office thinking, goodness, this is a lot of information. This might take forever. What would your advice be to them?
Yeah, so we invite you to start today, no matter what kind of preparedness you are at. We walk through this together. So I'm going to hold your hand through this whole process. So say you need to reset a password because you forgot it, and we can log into your Wells Fargo mortgage account. We can do that together online, share screens with each other, and interact with each other and walk through this process together. So even if you don't have statements or anything like that, we're going to walk through it together, and we invite you to start today, no matter what kind of situation you're in.
And after the information, the data gathering is complete, what kind of recommendations are you giving your clients?
Yeah, so we're going to walk through the action items that are required for you to complete your financial plan. And we'll have that available to you through this page that will be on your dashboard on My Financial Answers. And we'll list some of the things that we need to accomplish in order to get to your goals. So some of them, for example, like getting a full 401k match if you're not taking advantage of it. We might need to lower your interest rates if you have a lot of debt and it's at a high interest rate. We might need to purchase some life insurance if there's a gap. And what it will do on this page, it will show you what's immediate, what's medium term, and what's long term. So we can prioritize what's most important and accomplish it in that order.
How do you monitor a client's progress through the financial planning process?
Yeah, so based on when these things should be accomplished and on what timeline, I'll go back in and check in with you. I'll set those dates on my calendar and then check in with you in a couple months or a couple weeks, depending on what we're trying to accomplish, so that we can monitor your progress. Sometimes we need a little encouragement to keep going because things come on our plate and then we forgot about our financial plan. So I'll be there to monitor and make sure that we're actually making progress on our goals.
And, things are crazy for people right now. A lot of people's situations have changed this year financially. What if a client does have a change in plans? What do you do?
Well, we invite you to get in contact with us. Life changes, so can your plan. So we want you to update your planner with any information in your life. For example, I had clients who were a couple and they were working towards retirement. We developed their entire financial plan and came up with what was supposed to be accomplished. Then they get pregnant. So now we have a little bit of change in our priorities, right? So now they wanted to prioritize saving for college and we're not as concerned about retirement. Of course, we still are, of course, always concerned. So what we did was adjust some of their, payments towards their funds and change the retirement date a little bit out so that they could contribute to their 529 plan, which is a college savings vehicle. So if anything changes in your plan, we invite you to get in contact with us right away because things always change. Right now, we're in a situation where there's a worldwide pandemic. None of us expected this to happen. So if things changed in your life, like there was a job loss or anything happened that really changed your finances, we can make adjustments and we'll make sure that you can accomplish your goals no matter what your situation.
And that's a really good point, Becky. I know a lot of people who are, they feel like they're not really in a position to work with a planner. Times are rough for people. Things have changed. What advice would you give to someone sitting there thinking, this is not for me?
Yeah, so it's never too late. And it's never too early. We really want to encourage you to start today. So some of you said that, you're 1 to 5 years out to retirement. That's not too late to start. You still have decisions to make when it comes to your Social Security, your pension plan that's offered to you through GTCC. So we're going to have to make some decisions and we can help you out with that. So we want you to get started no matter what. And if you're young and you're just starting out, well, that's all the better for you to take advantage of this opportunity because the earlier you start, the less you actually have to contribute to your retirement plans. So we really encourage you to start today, no matter what your situation, and we'll be happy to help you achieve your financial goals.
Thank you so much, Becky. And that is such an important point. It really is important that no matter where you are, no matter what your situation, that you get started right now, today, wherever you are. We have Becky and a team of financial professionals here ready and willing to help you on this journey to financial fitness. I know it's very easy to think, I can't afford it. I don't have the money. I can barely make ends meet as it is right now. Or the other end of the spectrum, I've had a retirement plan. I've had a 403B for 20, 30 years. I think I'm good. It's never not a good time to just kind of review, refresh, make sure that things are all on the up and up. And that's what our team is here to do with all of you. And again, we want you to know that a meeting with Becky is absolutely free to you as a GTCC employee. You have this as a benefit that to get on Becky's calendar, to schedule your appointment today, and Becky will walk through your financial plan and create an individualized, customized plan just for you and your family. You'll see it in the chat box. You can click the link right now to jump on her calendar and schedule an appointment. Now, at this time, you guys still with me here, still excited and having the best time ever. I know this is a lot of information and it really is about you, your benefits that are provided by GTCC and understanding what's best, what you need to do to create your individualized journey to financial fitness. I am going to check the chat box and take a little pause to see if we have any questions. Becky, Someone's asking, do we have a 403B account as an employee of GTCC? Yes, absolutely. And actually we have in the next section, Sean McGill, who is an investment advisor, is going to talk to you all about investing and creating, and he can answer your questions about the GTCC 403B plan. But yes, absolutely. Here's another question, Becky. Someone asks, should I pay down debt or save? Like, that's always a confusing topic for someone trying to, maybe they have credit card debt, but should they pay down those credit cards quicker, or should they save money? What would you suggest for someone in that situation?
Yeah, so in that case, we're going to want to take a look at your interest rates. Because if you have credit card debt, you're most likely paying a really high interest rate, and that's going to cut into your financial savings. So when it comes to your retirement, say you're making 8% in the market, if you're paying 20% on your credit cards, then you're not in a good position. So what we would want to do in that scenario is pay down our credit card debt. We can do that by different ways, by consolidating our debt into 0% interest rates, home equity loans, things of that sort. There's ways to get your interest rate down so that it makes more sense to contribute to your retirement and also pay down your debt simultaneously. So it really depends on your situation, and I invite you to meet with me and we'll review that together, and I'll tell you exactly what you should do.
Yes, absolutely. The link is in the chat box. Click on the link to schedule an appointment to create your own individualized financial plan. Here's another question. If I have a child who is ready for college next year, but I don't have any savings for him created, how should I best go about preparing for him to go to college?
Yeah, so we have Parent Plus loans. They're available to you at a decent interest rate. So you can utilize those. You apply through them through the FAFSA, through the Federal Student Loan website. And those are available to you to pay for your child's education. And what that's going to do is going to make a loan for you. And then at the end of their college years, you'll start paying on those loans. So that's certainly a way that you can do so.
So with someone in that situation who maybe they don't have a college savings, but maybe they also need to prepare for retirement, how do you prioritize those?
Yeah, so we take a look at the priorities. So we take a look at how soon these things are and how we can grow our assets over our long term. What's important to note is you can always borrow for college, but you can't borrow for retirement. So we really want to make sure that our retirement is in play. So I would take a look at your retirement situation first, make sure that's safe, and then we'll worry about college savings, because there is always ways you can make loans and things like that to cover those costs.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Becky. I really appreciate you being a part of this presentation. Again, if you have any other questions for Becky, feel free to drop them in the chat box. We'll get them to her email. Also, schedule an appointment, get on a calendar, and start building your financial plan with your certified financial planner. Thank you, Becky.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. All right. So we are, at this time, we're going to do one more poll question. And this is going to lead us into the last section of our presentation. If your investments were to drop by 20%, what would you do? A, no stress, maintain my strategy. B, you might be a little bit worried, but you're still going to maintain your strategy. Or C, sell off the bad performers. Or D, get out of the market completely. Where would you, if the market dropped 20%, what would your strategy be? I'll give you just a few seconds to answer this question. And this is going to lead us into the last part of our presentation, where we're going to talk a little bit more about investing and what it is to understand investment planning. And we have Sean McGill, an investment advisor, here to answer all those questions and introduce another tool that you have as a benefit as a GTCC employee that you may have no idea even exists. So really excited about that. All right. So about 40% would say no stress, maintain my strategy. About another 40% would worry, but still maintain the strategy. And then about 20% would just get out of the market completely. This does bring us to, this is a perfect segue into our final presentation, which we will talk about understanding your risk in the market. And I'd like to introduce Sean McGill. I don't know, we might have lost Sean. I think he was having some technical difficulties. Sean, are you there? Yeah, I think Sean may have lost his.
Jay.
Oh, hey.
Hey, I'm here. I just don't know if you can see me.
I can't see you. Can you see me?
How about that?
Oh, well, look at you.
There we go.
Perfect. So glad you could join us, Sean. I appreciate you joining us from vacation.
Yes, it's fall break for the kids. And I think our goal here is to get these 40% who worry and maintain their strategy not to worry.
Yes.
And we've got some great tools for that.
Absolutely. Sean, could you just tell us a little bit about your background?
Yes. So I started in the early 1990s. Actually, I started in the industry in 1990. So I've been doing this for quite some time. And we really started at UNC, the main campus in Chapel Hill. And we started working with UNC Hospital and the university itself with their participants in the 403B market.
Wow. Wonderful. And you are one of the founders of Verity Asset Management, aren't you?
Yes. Original founder, along with 3 other partners, and we've been together now for a long time.
Wonderful. We thank you so much for being here today. And as you see, we already have questions about investing and particularly GTCC's 403B program. But, you know, we had Ben talk a little bit about My Financial Answers, and then Becky talk about creating a plan, working with a coach. I want to go deeper and talk about working with an investment advisor. I think that most people think that that's something that only, rich people do. What would you say to that?
Oh, it's absolutely not true. It's one of the things that we decided to do very early is that we wanted to work in that particular market with educators and with nurses, etc. And I could tell you a story about a wonderful couple that started with me when they were middle-aged. One was a cafeteria worker and one was a housekeeper. They started with $12.50 biweekly, which was the minimum that UNC would allow. And I would go back to them year over year and literally increase them by a couple dollars because that's all they could afford to do. And although over time of maybe 15 years of savings and investing, they didn't create a tremendous amount of wealth, but they created enough wealth that they had communicated to me along with their state pension that they had, that it was more wealth than anybody ever had in their entire family. And that it impacted me because it was less than $50,000.
Yeah.
But it changed their life. And they said, we're not spending this money. We're passing this money on to our kids. And they were able to stretch that retirement plan to their children when they passed. So it was a big impact. You can start with very little and you can change your life.
That is so powerful. And I hope that that's a message to anyone listening. Again, just start wherever you are. Just start now is really the most important message that we can bring you today. So explain what risk assessment means to someone looking to invest, Sean.
So it's what's important. And I think a lot of people lose sight. You watch the news every night, you see what the S&P, you see what the Dow's doing, and you don't really know, well, what kind of risk does the S&P have? What kind of risk does the Dow have? Most people don't realize the Dow is only 30 companies. Most people don't know that the S&P's 500 companies, S&P 500, but it's market cap weighted. It's not equally invested in 500 companies. So what ends up happening is you've got maybe 3 or 4 or 5 companies that are driving that index. And so when you put that into a risk score, you'll find out that if on a level of 1 to 100, it's approaching a 78 and a 79 right now on risk. And when you're nearing retirement, that's not the type of risk that you want to take. So what ends up happening is they see the rate of return, and then maybe their investment didn't quite do as well. Well, maybe they're not at that same risk level, but that's kind of subjective. How do you measure that?
Right. And I think that's what we want to talk about today in introducing the amazing tool that we have to assess risk, right? What we're looking at on the screen now, this is the old way of assessing risk. Can you explain this model a little bit?
Sure. Again, it goes back to being subjective, right? And stereotype. And in our industry was terrible about that for years, mostly because we didn't have the tools. It wasn't that we weren't doing an honest effort. It's just that we didn't have the technology and the algorithms to be able to accurately measure risk. So in the old days, you talk to people and you say, are you conservative? Well, you should be because you're 60, or you're moderate, or maybe you should be aggressive because you're 30. Well, I've never met a 30-year-old who wants to lose all their money, right? So I'm not sure that just because you're 30 means you're aggressive. It doesn't have to be that way. So what we need some better analytics. And fortunately, history, right, technology have allowed us to get to those analytics.
Right. Explain what the risk number is and the way that this has come about.
So sure. So I don't want to get into the weeds. We could talk about some of our industry lingo, but I don't really believe that that's a good approach. So what we've done is Riskalyze is a wonderful tool that's basically just puts you a speed limit, right? It goes through a very, very easy questionnaire. It's not something that you're going to go through. It's not mind-numbing like some of them are. It's a simple questionnaire that you can walk through. And the algorithm behind it, we've studied. And it is a fantastic algorithm. And it's actually going to give you your score. A 22 on the screen is going to be conservative. A 49 is going to be moderate. And 82 is going to be high risk, kind of like the S&P 500 is right now, right? Mm-hmm. So what's important is knowing your risk, because that's what matters, because that'll keep those folks who are going to worry but stick to the strategy to stop worrying.
Right. And so in coming up with the risk score, obviously we have a tool that we will put into the chat box that everyone can go and click that link right now and create their risk score. But also, what's it like working with you? How do you take that score and help an investor?
Right. So one of the wonderful things that many of our advisors do is folks who have an existing portfolio, we can take that existing portfolio and we can put it into our tool after they've done that questionnaire, and they can compare where their existing portfolio lies with their risk score, their actual risk score. And then our advisors do that typically on an annual basis, or every 6 months. We'll send you a simple email reminding you to do that risk score. And that way, because life changes, right? You get older, things in life change, your risk score may change. So we want to keep up on that. Right. And I think it's incredibly important to do that. If you don't have an investment portfolio, take the portfolio analysis and you can find out where your risk score lies, and then your investment advisor can match the portfolio to your risk score. So at GTCC, we have a 403B where we have managed models, professionally managed models. And what happens is our advisor will work with you. You'll go through the risk analysis, and they'll come up with your risk score, and they'll match that risk score to that professionally managed portfolio.
And what about someone who has an aged investment account? How would Riskalyze work with that investor?
Somebody who actually has an existing portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
So again, as you can see, we can download it, we can put it into the system, and we can assess the risk. And then what we can do is, if it's off target, we can simply reallocate that portfolio for you into something that matches your risk. And again, it's nice because your focus shouldn't ever be on, what's my rate of return? Because that's not the reality, because that's going to come and go. It's what's my risk, right? You want to focus on your risk. And as long as your portfolio is aligned with your risk, you'll have these market fluctuations. You can analyze it and say, well, how's my portfolio looking? Now, a good investment advisor, okay, is going to download your portfolio. Is going to have software. At Verity, we do this, that every day your portfolio to the individual is integrated with our risk tool. So our advisor can go into the risk tool and they can see your risk score. And they can see if your risk score is no longer aligned with your goals. Maybe something in your life has changed. In 6 months, you take the portfolio risk analysis, and all of a sudden you go from a 30 to a 60 or a 60 to a 30. Have that conversation with your advisor. Your advisor can immediately look at it and say, we got a problem. We need to adjust this portfolio.
Wow.
And you'll talk it through.
That is such a powerful tool. Thank you for introducing that to us.
Thank you for having me.
And like we said, we have, this is another free benefit. This is a benefit that you have as a GTCC employee. It's in the chat box live right now. You can schedule, you can see your risk score, take the risk analysis, and you'll schedule an appointment to speak with an advisor and create your own plan. And Sean, we have questions about specifically GTCC's 403B account.
Mm-hmm.
And, just as a true novice investor, someone who was watching this and saying, I came on here because I wanted to know, I don't even know what a 403B is. How would you answer that?
Sure. So 403B is just like a 401k. It's just, it was simply originally designed for nonprofits. And it's a savings vehicle that can be pre-taxed, but it doesn't have to be pre-taxed. It can be a Roth 403B, which you can put after-tax dollars in. So pre-tax dollars will be taxed at retirement. After-tax dollars will not. So they will grow. The growth will forever be not subject to federal income taxes. And what we do at Verity, again, as I alluded to it, we build risk-based portfolios. So we have what's called open architecture. That simply means any mutual fund family in the world at an institutional share class. That's very important. That means there's not expenses embedded into it. The very least expenses that are available in the marketplace. What we do is we build risk-based portfolios based upon those mutual funds. So if your risk score is a 40, you're going to be in our balanced growth model. Our portfolio managers choose from that whole universe of funds, and they build that portfolio for you. There's no trade fees or anything associated with it. So they can buy and sell those mutual funds free of charge, no sales charges, no expenses. They simply charge you an annual fee to manage that money.
Is there or what is the minimum that a person could invest into their 403B?
Jay, I would have to look at GTCC's minimum requirements, but I think it's probably as low as $25 a paycheck.
Wow.
Yeah. So everybody should start somewhere. Plus, they have a 1% match. So I would challenge everybody at GTCC, if I could get in front of all 700 or 800 employees, I would say, guys, save 1%, because you just got a 1% raise by doing it, right?
Right, because it comes out before the tax dollars. So
absolutely,
it's so important to pay yourself first. This is something that I've heard Becky talk about. I've heard you talk about. Just investing long term in your future and starting today. And that's a message I know we've said from the very, very beginning. Is start where you are right now. That is the most important step. Thank you so much, Sean, for being here. We appreciate you taking time out from your vacation.
Well, and I've got to say to everybody, I'm very proud of my kids.
Oh.
They have been very quiet in a very tight, cramped space. So,
yeah.
Thank you, everybody. We look forward to working with you, and I would say please take advantage of Becky, guys. It's a free service, and it's something that we're very proud of offering.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sean.
Thanks, Jay. Have a good day.
You too. All right, guys. And again, the chat box is still open. We have the link to Riskalyze. It's in the chat box. You can go on. You can do your risk assessment, schedule an appointment with Sean. You can schedule an appointment with Becky. We've given you the invitation and the coupon code to join My Financial Answers. We If there's anything else that you need from any of us on our team, we are here. GTCC have all of my information to reach out to me personally, and we are happy to work with you in creating your financial fitness plan and getting you on your path, helping you on your journey to financial wellness. All right. It has been our pleasure this morning to do this presentation, and we look forward to talking to you all very, very soon. Thank you so much. Have a great day.